magkaroon ng info at denial para sa straight push-up na merong gagawin si Georgie dito.
Yeah, I think Ascent.fm is one of those maps that really showcases kung ano yung gustong playstyle ng mga teams natin, no? Because there's still an ongoing debate whether Fade is still worth it to pick up or are we going to shift back into the Sova. We're gonna see that at full form dito, no? Immediately, it's the differences between the initiators that we are seeing between these two squads. I believe this is South Built going for the more standard, more classic combo on the Sova KO, and I'm excited to see how ZOL Ragnar is going to play this out on the new Fade, who, as we all know, has been toned down in terms of power. And I'm really, actually, medyo nagulat nga ako dad fam, no, na sobrang nag-shift away in priority from securing that Fade because of the changes. Because on paper, it doesn't, I mean, sure, there was a lot of changes, but in my opinion, it doesn't really look that big on paper at first glance, at least. Pero, you know, having matches like these where so much it's at stake really showcases ano yung priority ng mga teams natin, right? Is it more of the utility side, having the Fade, or is it more towards that raw information with the classic Odin strat dito sa wallbang and Ascent setups? And I love that we're seeing that right now between these two teams.
You know, thinking back to what you mentioned about the Odin being a possibility of being brought out, pinakaunang pumasok sa isip ko si White Widow. Unfortunately, though, the guy is not here. We're actually going to see different Sovas, maybe pull out something different. And the fact na you did mention yung changes dito kay Fade, the fact that they changed the numbers but not how it works at all, it still serves the same purpose and will be a prime factor on how South Built Esports actually, well, how ZOL Ragnar will approach this defensive round. So Georgie, now he's going to be the one to start things off for South Built Esports on the attacking side, making presence over towards mid-bottom, and then utilizing as much utility para man lang magkaroon siya ng presence and yung kanyang ground set up dito para sa ZOL Ragnar.
ZOL Ragnar immediately giving away that mid side. You know that this team has done their homework. This is exactly the same strat that South Built did yesterday against Power Rangers. But instead of the quick paced push down into market, they're going for a slower approach, which I love here. This shows the adaptation here from South Built Esports as well, as they're going for the B side push. Look at the double boat house crossfire here. Georgie denied by the entry. Taiki from behind. Beautiful stop here from the defense. And West nahanap din ng dalawa. It's all down to one. It's looking like a flawless round for ZOL Ragnar. An easy ROG flawless for the team.
And what a perfect way to respond from that aggressive mid push. They knew that since they are going to come in through the mid-bottom area, that the very clear option that they had was to come out of the mid-market side anyway. So double stack, not even needing to contest towards that mid-market area anyway. And since they are already set up towards that bathroom side, or the boatyard side of things anyway, that swing from Taichi was just a huge bonus. They already got a stellar defense on B. They didn't even need the Killjoy's presence. But Taichi was just hungry for blood. He wanted to get those first 2 kills already. Sinking his teeth in, already dealing first blood over to South Built Esports, man.
Exactly. ZOL Ragnar, pinapakita nila sa atin, no, na they are present and they are prepared for this matchup specifically. And South Built taking a step back despite it being the eco. They're really taking all the time in the world to assess the situation. What is ZOL gonna do now? What is the adaptation going to be? It seems like a little bit of aggression mula dito kay West. Of course, does have the Spectre, so medyo may advantage siya when it comes to these fights, particularly in B site where there is a lot of noise being made by South Built. Pero alam mo, ito talaga yung isa sa mga criticism sa South Built, diba? They take a little bit of time to ramp up from before, and yung isa sa mga questions that is presented with the introduction of Georgie is, has that changed for South Built? It seems like in this matchup specifically, they are having the same pattern, Joms, with the judge here alone in Cubby, still alive and kicking despite all of that Astra utility getting thrown out. And actually, so much utility pinump na dito ng South Built, jumping in for the quad! And nag-iisa na lang for South Built. Ghosts comes out, here comes the flash. Joms looking for the early ace as he's just hunting and hunting from behind. The headhunter is ready, just to shut him down, but not good para sa pangalawa. Josh F, 2 rounds para sa ZOL.
Too deep. Too deep for jumps,
Yes.
but still impact being made para sa ating KO for ZOL Ragnar, diba? They had no choice. They already set guard over towards B. So the fact that they also got mid meant that they either commit towards mid-bottom, where they already did that strat anyway. Let's do something different. Push towards that A-short position where they have been ready and waiting for that very fast push from ZOL Built Esports, where Jom's perfect usage of the judge, plus you got that communication with the KO, or excuse me, the Killjoy as well.
Yeah.
And once they pop it, once they have that presence known, then they had no choice but to go in and in towards the meat grinder of this KO with a judge. So Jom, as well as ZOL Ragnar's Killjoy, doing a really good job of establishing that control. Aziz, though, now he's the one who has to make things known over towards A short. But wow! What a smoke bang from Aziz! Wall bang through at that. And ZOL Built Esports, if they wanted to set their mark, this is how you do it. Try to put it as fast as possible, but Wes and Taiki, at least they got 2 picks of their own.
Yeah, 2v3 at this point. South Built struggling to get into sight. May isang minuto pa naman tayo. So, fair bit of time left for South Built as Papi Chulo presses on. Sinara na yung pinto over towards Cubby. But this has already been a messy round. For round number 3 here for South, but they have to minimize losses at this point. And not to mention, they have to win the round because there's still that looming possibility with the upgrades. Taiki picking up one all the way down from heaven. And meanwhile, Josh F swings out! ZOL Ragnar! Round number 3, they get it, Dadfem!
Because of the early picks, they already got that. They already got the push here. Despite them only having the A site for free, the response out from the tree side because of the pick over towards the tree area. ZOL Built Esports, one of their players, they pushed too far. They gave away one of the Vandals so that Josh F can pick up all the scraps, take away everything that Aziz tried to build up for ZOL Built Esports. Taiki even getting this frag is just unnecessary, but the fact that he also got a perfect position on heaven uncontested, they never knew where the heck he came from.
Exactly.
Meant that they got a freebie for themselves. 3 straight wins for ZOL Ragnar, an impressive start against ZOL Built.
Exactly. ZOL Ragnar. Really impressive look right now. Shintaro, meron agad siyang operator dito. Holding down mid. Nice shot onto Jap there. Pero this is round number 4, and South Built having lost that round number 3 means it's down to the Sheriffs this time. Dirty looking for the same aggression. The detect ng alarm bot drawing a little bit of attention utility-wise. Wala sa ZOL Ragnar dito. But South Built have to find even just a little bit of damage dito. Maybe best case scenario, mapunish nila yung operator from ZOL Ragnar. Pero honestly, with one man going down, I'm racking my brain around what approach they can do here, Dad.
I mean, the fact that he is actually known for his op as well. You already saw how aggressive he could have been from that previous series where he popped off on the Haven map. Shintaro was that series MVP, and he was known to take very aggressive fights. But speaking of pushing it to the enemy, ZOL Ragnar are pushing out all the stops with 4 kills on the kill feed, lighting up ZOL Built Esports before they can build something out of nothing. And a 4-0, man. This is how you set your mark. This is how you can prove to everybody that the fact that you put a giant in front of me, I can take out the giant, I can be the king, at kayang-kaya ko ang kahit sino na nasa harapan ko lang.
Bring out the hypothetical... Ano yung weapon ni David dito? That fem. Basta yung may bato. Yung ganon.
What?
The hypothetical... Basta yun, yung ginamit ni David para bring down si Goliath.
Yung ano, wait. Iniikot yun eh.
Oo.
Slingshot?
Oh, that thought though. Shintaro again with a resounding noise of the operator shot. Nakahanap ng isa. Quick repause. Spots out that jumping peak here on the middle side by Jack. So, not really hitting his mark for the moment. ZOL Ragnar, this is the true test right now. Round number 5. And Josh shuts down 2 from the get-go. Bringing us into a 3v3. Operator ay hindi ata na-retrieve dito ng ZOL Ragnar. So this is the best spot South Built has put themselves in all of these rounds.
Tama, kasi they already destroyed yung dalawang players na pwedeng makapag-set up for retakes here. But the fact that ZOL Ragnar, yung duelist pa lang naman, kayang-kaya pa rin retake with the utility alone. Josh F able to trade out tong si Tai Chi. The fact that they got the plant down, they have a solid shot. ZOL Ragnar though, They have to hold everything down. The retake scenario is on. Pumasok na si Josh F. Ginagamit yung sarili niyang smoke para makuha yung double kill. A 2 versus 1, leaving it all up to Papi Chulo himself. But can he prove that he is the daddy in this 1v2? Or is he trapped against the two young bloods of ZOL Ragnar? They spray on down to A main. He's low on HP. Sobrang low na din ni Josh F. Stick to the fuse, son. Kaya-kaya kitapos to. Pero na-clutch ni Papi Chulo at kanyang-kanya yung panalo na ito.
Planted. One enemy remaining.
On the board dito para sa South Built, but it still took so much to secure the ROG clutch para dito sa South Built Esports na at this point, Dadfem, di ako sigurado kung meron silang eco to back up that round with because they invested so much, they lost so many people that now ZOL, they know that they have to press on, double headshot onto Papi, no highlight reel for you this time, Papi. Pero Ja, hindi natingin sa likod. Shintaro shuts him down. And ang lalim-lalim na nila. ZOL looking to nip this aggression in the bud. Southfield, paano sila sasagot?
Enemy remaining.
Fired up because of the clutch that Papi Chulo had in the bag. Kaya galit na galit ang ZOL Ragnar ngayon. Pag-push pa lang sa mid, 3 nakuha ni Shintaro at 5 agad para sa ZOL Ragnar, man. Just like that, as fast as they could. Sa sobrang bilis, hindi tuloy nakapag-set up ang ating Built Esports. Let's watch this replay. Beautifully done by Shintaro. Wala masyadong support coming out towards that mid-bottom area dahil all the focus was to sandwich him from A main pa lang. Shintaro, man, yung series MVP from the previous series that we saw him from ZOL Ragnar's performance, again delivering. And for ZOL Ragnar to build upon him, it's just an easy task for them. And into the retake scenario, ang dami nilang ultimates na pwedeng gamitin. So the fact that Built Esports, they play that so cautiously, now they have to kick up the tempo if they want to match their aggression.
Yeah, Built has to come online soon. Because ZOL Ragnar, padami lang ng padami. Yung advantage nila dito, 5-1 on the scoreboard currently. Let's see kung makakahanap ng big play dito. Si Georgie, he absolutely has to as the one with the most firepower with these blades. Making his way all the way down to the defender side spawn. Pero ZOL Ragnar, they're just steering clear of Georgie. Narinig kasi nila yung footsteps coming in all the way into that area. Taiki, holding the line though. Alam niya na meron ditong members ng South Built right in front of him. The double peek is what they have to do. But Papi Chulo, ang ganda naman ng headshot na yun. But Shintaro with a trade. Georgie goes massive with the blades. And South Built, they're making this eco work. Papi Chulo nakahanap na naman. And suddenly ZOL Ragnar down to 1.
Again, going back to their slow play style, taking the default, playing for picks. Built Esports are known to control the battlefield, and now Zwes all alone finds Georgie. Pero the fact that they already set up shop doon sa may A site, he has not a lot of time para man lang makapaglaban against the 3 players of Built who have already upgraded from the sheriffs that they started in this round alone. Gosh. The fact that Built Esports, they got the A site, they already got the picks doon pa lang sa may city side pa lang. And how the hell did they even got there? The fact that ZOL Ragnar, they also were too busy on navigating kung saan ba talaga ang Built and took advantage entirely. Now Wes, in a 1v3, definitely impossible para sa kanya. Wala na siyang time, wala na siyang matatakbuhan, at wala na siyang magagawa. Na one-tap na lang ni Aziz. At nakapag-trip to win pa nga, they steal away their guns, and they steal away this round under their noses.
That round could not have gotten any better para sa Built Esports, no? That accomplishes 2 things. 1, they completely stopped the momentum here of ZOL Ragnar. And number 2, that's got to feel good for the team. Winning a thrifty round dito, specifically in this matchup where they have been not having the best of starts, is that the fuse to the explosive that is Built Esports dito, no? 2-5, but they're looking this looks like a resurgence of confidence mula sa Built Esports. Tingnan natin kung masisecure nila yung next round to, kasi this is the last probable round that Built can secure these guns. Georgie na shutdown na si West, and they're gonna back off from that. Built, lot of time in their hands still, Dadfem.
Pwede na yun. Wala silang solid info kung saan yung Killjoy that, and if may kasama siya, solid yung magiging defense sa nila. Pero that's not the info that we're playing it right here. The fact that they go to the mid side, they have the option to push on down, but Georgie, the Boracay Jet, You can find out by Josh F himself. So even trade out a 1-for-1, it's not bad para sa ating ZOL Ragnar players. So they go back to their default spot. A main could be the difference maker para sa South Built. At ang ZOL Ragnar, playing for retake could be the optimal choice. Kaso si Joms, walang retake. Pasok lang kung pasok. Headshot na lang kay Ja. Headshot sa ulo, papunta sa South Built Esports. Pero pwede pa rin nalang i-push to. They have a lot of time para man lang masecure yung objective, but they have a lot of space for ZOL Ragnar to push in and find Aziz in the process. The spike is down, but they have to deal with the lockdown. Nagpo-push na si Shintaro. Umupush na din si Jumps. Lahat ng sides covered ng ZOL Ragnar as they push on down to where the spike is getting defused by Shintaro. A perfect way para makuha yung win para sa ZOL Ragnar.
Back the momentum swings para sa ZOL Ragnar dito. South Belt, hindi pa rin sila nakakahanap ng any bit of speed, momentum papunta sa mga rounds na to. 2-6 and immediately stopped by ZOL Ragnar dito. Parang ano lang tayo eh. Parang ano yung nagsiswing left and right? Basta yun. Yung momentum. Yung nagsiswing, hindi. Yung pendulum.
Yung momentum nagka-counter.
Pendulum. Back the pendulum swings papunta dito sa ZOL Ragnar, no? And at least it's at this point na South Built have their eco built up. But for how long can we see this going? How long will both of these teams ensure at some point something's gotta break? And right now, Papichulo picks up Jom on the other side. Shintaro goes in. That is the shorty. But Papichulo takes care of both. Double kill para sa kanya. And South Built, they're pushing down in B. Georgie opens up the site. And Wes is the last man in here. Naiwan na mag-isa yung Omen. Josh F coming in all the way from the defender side spawn. The tour de force will not connect from Ja. And it's a 3v1 on this post plant.
Doable. Dahil sobrang isolated nila sa isa't isa. Kaso habang nagkakaroon na ng saki-saki doon pa lang sa may city, nagpa-flank na si Pro at walang magagawa ang ZOL Ragnar dahil doon. Yung picks doon sa may A-main no overcommitment para man lang ma-overwhelm ang isa sa mga pinaka-experienced player sa FPS. Itong si Papichulo, he knew how to take care of the youngsters. He knew how to play them around like a fiddle. 1 HP and a dream para man lang ma-keep alive yung smoker ng South Built Esports. And they also had the time and the resources to push on down to B, giving them enough of that chance para man lang ma-force yung ZOL Ragnar into the eco round again. Eventually hits the shot onto Georgie as Shintaro walks up. But George, it's not the one who gets that kill. It's Ja and Pro that will take 3 picks of their own. A triple for Pro. Tatlo yung pangalan, yung spelling sa kanyang pangalan. Pero tatlo din ang patay. Isa na lang para sa ZOL Ragnar. Kaso nga lang, ang dami na nasa loob ng B. Stinger lang malala. Kaso, pinush na lang ni Ja. Wala siyang magagawa. 6-4 with South Built Esports, at least building something up.
4-6. And this is from nothing, essentially. ZOL Ragnar finally na-realize na teka lang ha, parang bumibilis na ito, umiinit na yung kalaban natin. Let's pause the breaks here for a little bit. And I love the timing of this pause. I love just how well they actually, you know, I love that round either way because they did find a fair amount of damage. Pero ZOL Ragnar, this is the point. This is the tipping point of this game. No, this is where South Built is going to answer the question: who is gonna have that momentum switching over to the second half? And this is ZOL Ragnar's last attempt at preventing that from happening. Because pag nagsimula na ang South Built, sobrang hirap ng pigilan yan eh. And we saw that it's starting with these massive plays from each of their players. Nakita natin si Papichulo, nakita natin yung plays dito all across the board that is just raw duels that South Built are just winning one by one. This is looking like a match, an amazing match we have in our hands. And I've gotta say that, Fem, this is a very different look from ZOL from yesterday.
Alam mo, Daydum, at this point, if may gusto tayong i-build up, tapos hindi natin magawa, wag na lang natin gawin. Kasi, parang ano eh. Kasi at this point, it's like how ZOL Ragnar have been doing. They're building up this sort of fortress sa ating first half pa lang. Pero when they are on the advantage, dun sila nagiging overcomplacent. You already saw signs of overconfidence. They double peak every single time, but South Built Esports, they find a way to actually turn things around. You already saw that from Papichulo. You already saw that from moments where they could have won doon sa ilang mga rounds, but the fact that ZOL Ragnar, they bit off more than they can chew, is giving a lot of space for Built Esports. Now, Joji, the Boracay Jet, has set his mark over towards the switch area. Nahanap na agad ni West. Si Josh F ang kukuha ng una. Kaso si Aziz, nakapag-correct ng shot niya with Pro following up. It's a 3 versus 2. And B-side is open for the taking. The fact that they got the lane in control is not meaning na nasa kanila ang B-side as a whole. As Josh F and Shintaro, they got the 2 picks. He's 7-4.
Ang ganda. Ang ganda ng preemptive prowler doon ng ZOL Ragnar. Immediately shutting down Georgie. If you could see right there, Georgie dashing in towards the switch. And then, ang perfect talaga eh. Sinalubong siya ng prowler dito ni West. And after the fact, wala na siya nagawa. I mean, South Built, it was a wild scramble to try and save this round. Pero andito na eh. Naswarm na ng ZOL Ragnar yung B-site. And after that, it was just smooth sailing for the ZOL Ragnar squad dito. 7-4 in the last round of the half. And at least, no, what ZOL Ragnar achieved with that one round is they secured the advantage going into the next round, no matter what happens in this one.
At this point, Built Esports, they have to throw everything out of the window. Caution to the wind. Maybe that awareness can put themselves into a winning position. Georgie, again, doing the same strat that he had in the first round.
Yes.
Open up that mid-market side. The split push is on. Taiki, he is aware of that as Georgie, he bit off more than he can chew. 2 picks already exchanged for both sides as Aziz, he lights up the kill feed. Becomes that efficient. Into the B side we go. Aziz, he's holding down lane yet again. And
1v3.
honestly speaking, how can you stop this guy? A bullet to the head, maybe more than enough. The defender culture lockdown, supplemented by that ultimate set up by Pro. But just as they're trying to sandwich the last 2 players of ZOL Ragnar, PPGL has the perfect timing with the headshot to Shintaro and onto Taichi as well, ending the half with an even 5-7. Doable, in fact, para sa Built Esports despite a clean start for ZOL Ragnar.
What a split that was mula sa Built Esports, no? It was a 1v2, but ZOL did not know that Pro was all alone in the boathouse. Actually, Papichulo making his way all the way down from A lobby papunta dito sa market, not making any noise at all. Ang tagal nun. ZOL took a little bit too much time pressing on into the site. That's why South Built was able to secure that round. Great use of the Hunter's Fury as well, waiting till the last second, and they gotta credit Pro for not losing composure dun sa 1v2 na yon. South Built though, they have to secure this pistol if they want to equalize things. But by the looks of that round, it looks like South Built are primed and ready. Parang it's not a question of whether South Built is online anymore. It's the question of can ZOL Ragnar keep up at a South Built that is already on.
Yeah, kasi sobrang consistent na South Built. But can you say the same para sa ating ZOL Ragnar players? 2 picks agad dahil ready na agad. Si Georgie tsaka si Ja. Double kill for Ja. Nandun pa lang sa stairs. Pero the fact that Ja was able to trade it all off is doable para sa ZOL Ragnar. They're hold up towards that lane. And eventually, Aziz, kanina pang naglalurk pa lang sa mid-bottom area. Agad nag-cash out. Perfect timing para makuha yung 6-run win.
Yeah, yung tinatanong natin kanina, Dadfem, is ZOL Ragnar gonna be up for the task? And this pistol is evidence that South Built, they are here to play. They have come to win this series, and they are not gonna let up here in Ascent. This is where the things get a little bit tricky for ZOL Ragnar because they don't have that momentum anymore. Pero now that they're on the attack, this is where they can showcase what strats they have in mind, what strats they plan. It seems like South Built, yung gusto nilang gawin, just become the aggressor. Look at the double crossfire here in mid. It's almost a certainty na magpupush sila dito if they find a little bit of information. Georgie with the double Marshall setup. Georgie picks up one. The next one in the chopping block. Josh F though with the classic shuts him down. The Bulldog from Ja not connecting yet. Gets that kill. And now mid is a war zone. Look at the gravity well. It's perfect. Aziz picks up one. And South Built is looking like a gun round.
A well-oiled machine is South Built Esports. They already knew how they were overly aggressing onto the mid-link side. They were taking too much time. So South Built Esports na lang yung papasok. Kung hindi kayo gagalaw, kami na lang yung gagalaw.
Yes.
The fact that they also stacked up so much utility, walang magagawa yung ZOL Ragnar themselves. And the stack towards that mid side, man, they had no other option either to run or to hide. Dahil, man, stacking up yung paggamit ng utility ni Papi Chulo and the Bulldog that's munching onto ZOL Ragnar before they can come out of mid-bottom dead.
Yes.
It's evening things up. It's the equalizer that Built Esports needed para makapag-climb up back into this game. and are forcing ZOL Ragnar to be a bit more crafty. So a mid push again, the default setup na pwedeng gawin ng ZOL Ragnar. What are the options? 3, medyo fortified. They could go down to mid-bottom as well. Kaso may crossfire din. Ang South Built ready kung dito nga sila magpupush. So South Built, they have to be ready for the aggression that ZOL Ragnar will push out right now.
Exactly. Kitang-kita mo na ginawa din ng South Built yung homework nila. No? They know that in these types of rounds where it's the eco reset for ZOL Ragnar, they tend to go into mid, and look at it, already paying its dividends. Aziz nakahanap ng opening pick dito sa mid side. Meanwhile, South Built, they're still reinforcing that middle kung saan wala na yung ZOL Ragnar. They're slowly inching towards this A site, and they're gearing up for an A site hit. 46 seconds, not a lot of time, so South Built have to anticipate this, or at least they should get a kill here if they want to prevent the plant.
This is kind of decent. Basta ma-pick up man lang nila itong nagamit ng Marshall, then Aziz can have nowhere else to go. The flash will be out. Nandito na yung entry ni Shintaro. But Aziz is just too clean with that Marshall, laying down the law papunta sa players ng ZOL Ragnar as Georgie lights them up with a double kill and a flawless victory para sa South Built Esports.
The globe at home flawless this time for South Built Esports. This is a complete repeat of the first half, pero the script has been flipped. South Built naman yung mananalo ng bonus round natin dito, and this is the literal turning of tables para sa dalawang teams na to, because South Built's time is now. They have already secured the advantage, and they've destroyed the economy of ZOL Ragnar dito, no? And they're looking pretty good in the next couple of rounds. ZOL Ragnar, can they pull the same miracle that South Built did earlier where they pulled out an eco? Let's see.
Malay mo. I mean, the fact that they're already having round wins is good naman for ZOL Ragnar. It's an improvement from the previous games, but now Ja, he just knows how to control that mid-bottom area. Kasama din si Georgie holding hands. Ang bagong best bros dito sa South Built Esports. Aziz to follow with another para sa South Built. Napakahirap para makapag-push ang ZOL Ragnar. The fact that they cannot get mid-bottom, what else can they not get? Kontrolado din nila yung B main dahil nandito si Pro, ginamit ng Odin at alam niya kung nasa na nag-iisang KJ ng ZOL Ragnar at flawless na naman. It's a globe at home flawless, mga kaibigan. South Built a huge lead yet again na pwedeng i-capitalize with ZOL Ragnar's very short start dito sa ating second half, I'd say.
Really struggling to find their footing on this attack, no? And that's mostly because South Built is reading them like a book, no? Yung mga stats na pinull out nila, particularly in round number 3, it seems like South Built knew exactly what ZOL Ragnar was planning in that reset round. Pero this time, it seems like alam ulit nila. Tignan mo, there's iniwan nila yung bid na open and walang tao dun, yung Ragnar.
Okay. Well, they just leave yung ating turret para magkaroon ng kahit anong info na pwedeng i-push itong South Built Esports, no? But that's not enough. And they just invest all of their players doon sa may A-site itself. So medyo magiging late itong si Georgie para sa push nitong si Shintaro again. He's left alone. Nasaan yung ibang mga teammates? They already got the entry. Where the hell is everybody from ZOL Ragnar rotating on down to B? Maybe it was a fake, but I feel like this is just too late. Ja is already here. He knew that it was a fake all along. The fact that Shintaro's entry did not count for anything meant that South Built Esports have covered every single ground with a double kill papunta dito kay Taichi tsaka sa ZOL Ragnar. Drums. Oh man, he's just stuck inside B side. He has no friends. He has nowhere else to go. He only got one, but that's all he's going to get. Georgie with a double and a 10th round win para sa South Built Esports.
South Built get themselves to double digits, and ZOL Ragnar have to get their stuff together soon. Na-mention mo nga ano, Dad Fem, it was the execute from Georgie down on the other side of the map here in A, pero walang sumunod. And you have to wonder, is that actually the plan here for ZOL Ragnar? Because they had the spike right behind Georgie. It seems like they're a little bit, it seems like Georgie jumped the gun a little bit there, pero it also is a question of, was that the real call? Was that the proper call here for ZOL Ragnar? And it just turned sideways for them because South Built was prepared to meet them at all fronts. Ja was just lying in wait in that B site. And ngayon, na-force na naman into another eco. Merong ulti dito si Jumps, no? The null command is available. So if they do get a couple of frags here and there, they could pull that out. Pero the mid priority here has been such a struggle to get for ZOL Ragnar. And again, it's true. Pro still in the mid. Gets 2 kills. And Papi Chulo, nandito na rin siya to reinforce that defense towards the middle side. Fragment nilabas and Taiki goes down. And the blade's not used for Georgie because they don't have to. ZOL Ragnar, it's another globe at home. Flawless for South Built Esports.
Na naman! That's 3 in this game alone. 3 flawless victories para sa South Built Esports, man. Parang napapansin ko, if they were going to try to default, they needed a bit of presence zone sa baby main pa lang. But they ignored that for a few of the rounds. Georgie, now he's given free funds. Now he is given that free entry to the backlines of ZOL Ragnar themselves. And how well they have been controlling yung ating mid-round just proves that they have a fortress. It's not on the side. It's all the way over to the mid-bottom side. And the fact that they cannot penetrate that all the way through, there's just not an answer so far for the members of ZOL Ragnar. So this tack pause, important. They need to find an answer. They need to answer all the questions that South Built Esports are forcing at them. How will you approach the mid-bottom side? How will you take care of that short side kung pupush ka sa 3? And yung timings nyo ba, yung communication, is that set up? Because Shintaro has been pushing too aggressively. The response from South Built Esports has been so good. The timing is perfect. And when they're able to peak, is limiting yung ZOL Ragnar on kung paano sila makakapag-control ng mapa where you're already flying out with so many bullets from South Built Esports where they stand.
Ito yung last chance, Dad Fem, ng ZOL Ragnar, no? This is their last eco, their last gun reset, and their last chance to save this game from falling apart. But South Built looks really, really good in this first game, especially in this second half, no? And take a look at the rotations here from the positions from ZOL Ragnar. It seems like they're scrambling. They're scrolling through the pages of their playbook. Saan ba tayo pupunta? Anong strat pa ba? Hindi natin natatry. Maybe meron tayong something na hindi pa nakikita ever ng South. May possibility pang hindi nakikita or mape-predict ng South Built Esports dito. But by the looks of it, it seems like South Built has them figured out. Ja with an amazing off angle over towards that A side. I don't think they've ever pulled that off yet. ZOL Ragnar, they have so careful. They have a fair bit of utility to invest into this round. Shintaro, makuha lang sila ng isang orb or isang kill onto his hands. Magkakaroon siya ng blades to pave the way for another highlight moment para dito kay Shintaro. Pero for the most part, it seems like South Built again are gearing up for this. It seems like they're waiting, lying in wait to answer this ace site hit that ZOL Ragnar seems to be planning dito, Dadfem.
You're just counting. You're just counting the timer ngayon. They already put out yung utility ni KO doon pa lang sa may wine.
Ito na.
So they already know that they're gonna contest kasi wala man masyadong presence doon sa may mid. Si Killjoy masyadong slowed pero hindi nagsaslow down si Shintaro. Nag-push na agad palabas ng 3 and South Built Esports get majority of the picks. Georgie to even claim another onto Taichi. Nag-iisa na lang si West. All that he can do is revive KO back to life. Spray galing kay West. A double galing sa Fade. Pero Georgie is already in the house. A triple para sa bagong player ng South Built Esports and a 12-7. A really strong start para sa mga players ng South Built sa Ascent map.
Ang ganda ng hold na naman ng South Built Esports, and Papi Chulo is just so good at selecting the right targets. And Georgie, quick rotate mula sa South Built Esports dito, ensuring that ZOL Ragnar cannot bounce back despite West's best efforts. Nakapag-rest siya, immediately na-shut down yung ni-rest niya, and then he got shut down right after the fact. ZOL Ragnar, we said kanina, Dadfem, na that was their last chance. Because now, look at their eco, it's completely destroyed. So South Built, they can go for this risk. Shintaro though, with the blades this time around. Georgie in the middle of everything, and that is a beautiful recon ball to shut him down. And Shintaro, kahit naka-stinger lang siya, okay lang because they bit off so much here from South Built. Joms picks up Papi Chulo, and suddenly Shintaro looking good despite looking at 2 HP. Okay, Zeus with the shutdown, and now they're looking for this ace site hits. And South Built, they're already evacuated the area. So ZOL Ragnar, they've set themselves up for a pretty good post plan.
They finally got something out of that mid push. They finally got away with a push on towards the tree area with no contention because South Built are also the ones who responded to this. The proactiveness now bit them off on the butt, and this time they're forced into the retake scenario. Taichi, he's the forced person of contact, but what a really narrow shot. Papunta kay Ja. A 3 versus 1. Si Aziz na lang. A double kill para sa KO player ng South Built. Alam niyang sobrang lapit lang ng dalawang players ng ZOL Ragnar. Nag-push na lang papunta kay Josh F. Pero after the contact, nandito yung refrag ni Jom 713. At 8-12 bago pakuha ng round na to para sa South Belt. They steal away another one and they extend our ascent game.
Nice attempt there for Aziz on a 1v3. Still getting 2 kills for his troubles. Pero ZOL buying themselves a little bit of time, a little bit of that speed, a little bit of room in this game. But they have to repeat that fem 4 more times. It has to be 4 perfect rounds para dito sa ZOL Ragnar. But their eco is just not looking too good here. They have to put their best foot forward dito as they try to hit that A site once more. Joms leading the charge dito. He does have a couple of flashes in his hand. ZOL Ragnar looking to get those pickoffs going for their favor, looking to punish any mistakes here from South Build. But it seems like South Build, they've learned their lesson from the last round. Hold that! They do get one pickoff.
Masyado silang nag-push doon sa may mid kasi alam nila na pwede silang makapag-push with the flank on towards the ZOL Ragnar players while they're setting up onto a main, but they already got punished for it. They got one of the players, that's KO, out of South Built Esports, and giving themselves away into the 5 versus 4. They got an open entry onto B with only the point of resistances. Ja and Georgie, the only players that can stop this from happening, but since they don't have the KO, they cannot stop this attacker kill drill lockdown. So they're just waiting for it. ZOL Ragnar are primed and ready para makuha ang ating B, para makuha ang ating spike plant doon sa may B site. And Shintaro, now here's the entry. Nandito na ang pagplant ng spike. Galing dito sa ZOL Ragnar, but he's struggling to find a pick. Georgie will pick him off after the post plant. As the 4 versus 4, Taichi is also controlling that beam inside, but Georgie shuts it down with Papi Chulo to follow. A double out from Papi Chulo himself. And a 1v2 triple kill para kay Astra. And they ended off like that. South Built Esports show it how the youngsters do it. Nandito na ang 1-0. And they show how South Built do it.
That's how it's done. That's what South Built is doing right now. Here is how you win Ascent in a 13-8 fashion. The composure from these players and the adaptation that yun talaga yung nagbuhat dito sa South Built Esports. Napakaganda ng pinakita nila, and that's just game number 1. But I have to commend ZOL Ragnar dito pa rin, no? From yesterday's performance, they look like a completely different team. Granted, they still didn't win Ascent here in this matchup against South Built. They still put up a pretty good fight. And most of these rounds as well that South Built won felt pretty touch and go. Ang lapit pa rin. It all came down to one man, and ZOL Ragnar just improved so much in the span of so little.
Pwede na. Pwede na talaga, you know. At least they had this bit of improvement, and you also saw na hindi lang aggression ni Shintaro yung pumapalpak para dito sa ZOL Ragnar or yung pumapapak para dito sa kanilang victories kanina, diba? The fact that they also can coordinate with Shintaro in some rounds para man lang makuha nila yung mga pushes is a good sign na kaya nilang makipaglaban sa mga best or top teams na